I always thought of, people who like Naval, people who like his ideas, as like a strong but small niche community. And then all of a sudden you post like, we sold 1 million copies of the Navalmanac, and like 3 million people or 4 million people have read it across things. And I was so fucking stoked for you, and also mind blown that the market ended up being that big.
Dude, me too. I thought I was doing like fan service for Naval nerds.
Yeah.
I thought it was like, I don't know, maybe 10,000 people if I'm lucky ever will read this book.
Yeah.
But it's for diehard, Naval people like me, and I enjoyed writing it. And I was like, some people will probably like this. We're 2 orders of magnitude past my wildest expectations for it, honestly, which is, I'm so appreciative, and I'm so heartened to like see all around the world, like millions of people, 40 languages has been translated into, to see this resonate with so many people. Like in retrospect, it's a little like, it's a guide to wealth and happiness. Like, who doesn't want to be rich and happy? And Naval does such a good job distilling things into like inarguable, incompressible, like universal principles that truly are useful for any human being on the planet. I think could like take something out of this book and apply it to their lives immediately. And that's an incredible thing.
When did it start to like, you were like, oh shit, this is like going like this?
There were a few different moments. I mean, like the first week I was kind of like, oh, this is more than I thought was going to happen. But it's probably just launch. And then like month 3, I was kind of like, oh, things are like slowed down a little bit, but like not a lot, honestly. And then we published the book in late 2020. In 2022, we sold more copies than in all of 2021. I was like, oh, this is like accelerating. That's wild. Just English. And that's, not counting the like foreign rights and the translations and all that stuff. So, and it, not really slowing down. I'm constantly amazed by it. Like it's nuts.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well deserved. And one thing that's really, I think, important when we're talking about Elon and his speed is the timing was perfect at some level. You know what I mean? You moved really fast on this. I know, like, you probably first heard Naval in 2016 or something on Ferris or Shane Parrish, I would imagine.
Oh, I got introduced to Naval in like 2011.
Oh, shit.
Like when I was still in college, somebody, like a real person, one of the first like real startup people I met, I was like, just tell me things. And they were like, read everything on Paul Graham's blog, read everything on Venture Hacks, which is Ivy and Naval's blog. And that will be your like Silicon Valley 101. I was like, yes, sir. And so I went and I read all of it. So that was my first like intro to Naval. So I've been following.
Really?
And that was like the blog that turned into AngelList. So I'd followed him for a long time, and learned a lot from him because he used to talk more about like startup advice and building companies and the game theory of venture capital and like stuff like that.
Damn, dude, that is wild. So that's cool. That's really cool to go like 10 years later, be like full circle and so fully attached to it too.
That's why I was so like, that's why the first version of the book was like 600 pages long. Because I was like interested in everything this dude said across every domain. Like there's whole sections on education and investing and future predictions and all that stuff. They didn't make it into the final book because like most of these million people who are reading it like would not care. And you can't, have a book that thick for everybody. It was like very Port Charlie's Almanac-y. So I decided to tighten it up a little based on some very good feedback I got.
Dude, I would love to see a director's cut though. You know how they do that with movies? Like, I mean, I think a publishing company, you could make that happen.
The
like
Snyder cut.
Exactly. The
fatty edition. It's all up on the website. So I'm not keeping any secrets. We just haven't had a physical published version yet.
Okay.
I would love to do a V2 though. Like Naval's like, half the stuff in there like I've updated mentally, and I'm like, oh, okay, well, let's update it, like let's revise it. He's continued to share a ton of amazing stuff, like all the stuff that he's doing with David Deutsch now, and like the theory of knowledge, and like it's fascinating and it's useful, and I think it could be slotted nicely into some of these things that are going on, and I would love to sort of update more people's software with those ideas if I can facilitate that. So maybe future project, we'll see.
It's not like you're very busy or anything though.
No, tons of time.
Like, not much going on.
It's never going to change.
It'll be chill. I guess, we are always as busy as we allow ourselves to be. Regenerative energy. So, like, how do you manage all of this?
Like my life? Varies.
Yeah.
I feel so lucky that I am like I'm energized by almost everything that I do. Like I've chosen to do everything that I do.
Yeah.
Like when some people said they're busy, they mean like life is happening to them. Like I emptied like 3 years ago, I just emptied my calendar. I was like, I don't have to do anything. What's going to happen if I just empty my calendar? I wake up, stretch, have a coffee,
Go work out.
like work out,
Yeah.
see what happens.
Yeah.
Like see where my energy naturally drifts or my attention naturally drifts. And it's drifted toward reading and writing. So I was like excited to do more books. It drifted towards like wanting to hang out with founders and wanting to support them and like helping to channel capital towards them. And, like place my bets on the future and meet people seeing as far out in the future as I could. And that was, you know, for a few years, like that was my life. And that's pretty easy to balance. You know, there's no deadlines, there's no like nothing's on fire, nothing crazy urgent. And then last summer, this like sort of Scribe story happened. And so now I would like sort of filled up my life to like a reasonable, like 75%, like easy, calm thing. And then like accidentally took a CEO job.
Yeah.
And so like that filled up the bucket, overflowed the bucket for a minute.
A CEO job that was, the company was in chaos at the point that you came in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm new to the industry and I haven't been a CEO before. So like, there's a lot of learning curves that I'm still on. But so the bucket overflowed for a little while. But I'm like finding the ways to put those pieces back together. And I'm still like, I love that job and I love the team that I work with. And I love helping authors get their books out there in the world and talking about books and publishing. So like, I'm energized by everything that I do, as long as I don't like totally floor it for a day. Like if I do like 2 or 3 16-hour days in a row, I'm like, I stop having fun.
Yeah.
But if I do like 8 to 10 hours and I'm working out and I'm eating healthy and I'm like sleeping well, like I feel great and excited and honored to like get to do all the stuff that I get to do. And so like that's the rhythm I try to stay in. And I can fuck that up if I travel too much, but also I love traveling and like seeing all my boys in person.
Yeah. The travel stuff is definitely hard. Like
we both just flew in late ass last night.
Yes.
We're dragging a little bit.
For sure. Yeah. I feel really bad for my first guest because I was really excited to interview him, but I was like in the beginning, I was just like,
Good morning.
But I've got that. I'm like fucking woken up for this one. Let's go.
Still hiding some coffee over here.
Yeah. Brought to you by Cuvée. Dude, cool thing happened over the weekend that I think you'll appreciate. So my dad was getting this award, and my godfather went and spoke at it, and he and I don't know, it was cool. It was definitely, I was tearing up, but he said that Larry, my dad, that Warren Buffett has a quote basically that like Charlie Munger was the architect and Buffett was like the machine that got it done.
Yeah.
Yes, the contractor. And this is, my godfather's like my dad's business partner for many years. They did a lot of companies together, and my dad's done like when they went through a CV, it's insane how many companies my dad started. Like probably north of 50.
Holy shit.
Yeah, like, it was nuts, dude. It was like he was just.
What are we talking about? We're busy.
Yeah, exactly. I know, right? And like it's so funny. He has this story because he had just had to like fly from Oakland to Atlanta because he owned like the Atlanta women's tennis tournament, promote all of that for 2 weeks, and then like fly back before going to Hawaii. And he gets to Oakland. He brings his dog with him everywhere, of course, because it's my dad. And I mean, I bring my dog with me everywhere too. He just did he did like 9 weeks in Europe this summer. Reggie is well traveled, but he so asleep, so unaware that, and like my dad loves dogs as much as he loves me. Like the dogs were our family, like full on. Yeah. But he's so tired and jet lagged that he just leaves the airport with Lucy on the carousel. And then he wakes up in the morning. He's like, Lucy. And he's like, oh, fuck. She was at the airport. And like, it's just exactly like was so busy, so tired. And my dad doesn't party, doesn't drink. Like we're at the time was like running ultra marathons, like very intense. And like, was just like, he was just working so much. And he loved it though, because it was important to him.